Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the new moon lunar readings for the sign of Cancer. Alright, we're going to get right into it and get your wild unknown animal oracle deck card. Alright, so this is your animal spirit that's going to be walking with you over this next 28-day cycle. So new moon readings, I do lunar readings, I do new moon readings and full moon readings. Right, and I usually conduct these readings on or just after the new moon, you know, over the couple of days. And this is a period where we look at new beginnings, relationships, projects, right? So these are messages that should resonate with those of you who are on the cusp of something new or trying something new, a new stage in your life. You might be moving somewhere to another country, a new adventure, just the beginnings of things, right? Tying off of others, sowing seeds, right? Formulating plans for the future, all of that kind of thing. If that's something that you're dealing with right now in your life and you are a Cancer, then hopefully this reading will resonate with you, all right? And you've come to this channel. So of all the Cancers who are going through that kind of stage in their life, if you've come to this channel, hopefully something in this reading will resonate. So let's get your animal oracle out now. All right, Cancer, your card is the bumblebee. Love it. Air energy. So the bumblebee is beautiful, beautiful energy, very perceptive, right? We talk about acuity, right? Increased perception, increased extrasensory kind of perception, right? I mean, you know how bees communicate, right? So bees communicate through pheromones, through hormones, through chemicals that are emitted, right? And they pick up these chemicals. That's how they communicate with each other. So that implies a level of understanding and communicating that's outside of what we're used to, right? Outside of our five senses. So we're certainly talking about perception, increased perception. Also, the bumblebee is very industrious, right? I mean, all day long, the bumblebee flies around to gather, right? So it's very hardworking. The bumblebee is very earnest, very true, very hardworking. Very diligent, right? Also democratic in a sense, right? The bumblebee lives as part of a colony where everyone has their place, right? And everyone works toward a common good, right? So it's very much like, you know, this a social understanding that comes with this energy of, you know, you're happy to allow everyone their space, their opinion, you know what I mean? But obviously, you are still wanting to be around like-minded individuals, but you understand people who perhaps don't agree with you, right? Or aren't part of your tribe, let's say, right? But mostly the bee loves to work steadily, you know, thoughtfully, steadily, until the task is complete as well. This is diligence in working towards a task until it's complete. So this can also include, you know, at this time for new moon reading, you're about to perhaps close one cycle and begin another cycle. You're about to properly close one stage of your life and begin another one. You're ready to put the hard work in, right? Bees are also artists at heart, right? So they're very bubbly, right? Sociable. They like to be around others. They like to socialize. And they're very artistic. They like to be artistic and creative, and they like to be around people who are also artistic and creative. So this could be very much a Cancer who is an artist, right, out there. This may resonate with you as well. If you're working on some kind of if your labor involves some kind of passion towards the art, music, a form of creativity in some way or another. Now, this is to say, not, you know, you can be an engineer and be creative. You can be a scientist and be creative. You can work in a company and be, you know, a white-collar worker in marketing and be creative. You can work in human resources, right? You can be in human resources, what people think is just a kind of like, you know, regular, you know, pencil pushing paper job. You know, people don't understand, right? I mean, you can be creative in those roles. So when I say artist, I don't always necessarily mean that you are a artist who's making money off of your art, like a successful painter or writer or singer. I'm also talking about the artistic side of you, oftentimes, that with many of us, we assume isn't there because of the nature of our jobs, right? But there is a way to find art and creativity in every job or profession out there. There really is. It's thinking outside the box, right? Being innovative, trying something new. You can certainly do that at a 9-to-5 type of job as well. So let's just see what the cards say for our lovely Cancers this July new moon period, period of beginnings. Show me. All right, the cards are nice and focused. They're not jumping out all over the place. I really enjoy it when the cards are focused. I feel like the message will be clear. So let's see what it's hitting for, Cancer. We're going to go around. If you're regular here, you know what it's hitting for with these lunar readings. I use the Deviant Moon deck because of the illustrations and the interpretations and imagery lends itself to a lunar style reading. You know, seeing the darker things in life. All right, how to have them upside down? Okay, and here we go. All right, so we've got at the bottom of the deck, 6 of Pentacles. All right, 6 of Pentacles. So 6s is moving towards harmony. 6 of Pentacles is when you've come to a point in your life where you may not be rich, but you have a healthy attitude towards money. You have a good level of sustenance and stability, and you are also able to do things for others. 6 of Pentacles is when you are the type of individual, or if you haven't been before, you're at a point in your life where you understand the meaning of charity and helping others, giving away some of the money you have, right? You know, understanding that the true joy in the true joy in abundance is being able to share the abundance, right? You know, being able to give of it to others, right? That's the true joy, right? So at the center of the deck, you've got 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands means you're coming to the end of a cycle, right? You're kind of taking pause. It's been a long cycle. You're almost there. You've almost ascended the stairs out into the light, if you can see in the card, right? Up at the top of the stairs, there's like this light, right? But this individual is taking a moment to look back on all the trials and tribulations. They're digging deep for that last bit of energy, that last bit of kind of enthusiasm, that last great push, right? Sometimes this is the eye before the final storm period, right? And you know what I'm talking about. This could be and certainly with Wands, this is a part of your life that's to do with your ambition, your creativity, things like that, right? Your goals. And you could be right now feeling like you're in a pause period, you're taking a break period, and that's fine. You know, oftentimes this can be, people feel like, you know, you need to be going. A lot of times we feel guilty when we take a break, you know, from all of it, you know. We need a break sometimes. We need a moment sometimes, a down period, to just assess how far we've come and what else is left to do to finally close off this period, this stage, so that you can get to the next stage. It's very much a period of time where you're realizing, certainly 9s are all about your relation to yourself. It's all about doing shadow work, solitary work, hermit energy work. So 9 of Wands is certainly coming to that point in your life where you understand that, you know, it's time to, you know, it's time to finish off this stage. It's time to dig deep and get that last bit of strength. No one else is there to help you. You have to do it for yourself, right? It's you who has to do this, right? It's you who has to finish this race or tie off this part of your life, or take the steps necessary to finally put a line under this chapter in your life and move forward, right? It's a solitary activity, and nobody can force you to do it, make you do it, or help you, right? Covering this, you have 8 of Pentacles, so certainly discipline. 8 of Pentacles, I was going to say when the bee came out, that I wouldn't be surprised if some Pentacle cards come out. And so far, you've already got 6 of Pentacles, and now you have 8 of Pentacles. If any card in the deck is B energy, it's the 8 of Pentacles, because 8 of Pentacles is all about discipline, boundaries, discipline, but you know, discipline and restriction. When you put restrictions in place to make sure that you get the job done. A restriction can be making sure that you know, you can't hang out all night and party and drink if you have to go to work the next day, right? Things like that. You know, there's certain things that you can't do, or there's certain behaviors that you cannot indulge in, right? That you have to restrict yourself from if you want to remain focused on a task. You know, a task that is important to you, the labor that you need to complete. You know, if you see here, he's complete. Everyone looks the same, every pentacle, right? So this is the focus. He's refining his craft. You know, sometimes people see this as the card of being bored at work. But when you understand the nature of 8s and what 8s actually imply in terms of restrictions and discipline and working towards an ultimate good, right? This is more about how you master a craft, you know. In order, trust me when I tell you, in order to be able to craft something by hand and have each piece come out and be the same, this isn't about being bored. This is about excellent workmanship. This is about being a magician almost at your craft. This is about craftsmanship. This is about being a master at what you do. And what is required to become that master, the restrictions and the discipline that is required, the hard work. And so this is quite synonymous with the B energy. And so you're very much about, you know, your hard work right now. Okay, so these cards, I did take them out upside down. So, because like I said, normally my decks don't have any reversals. So yeah, at the end, another closure. You got another now this is a 9. It's not quite a 10. You're almost there, but you're certainly at a 10 at the back of your mind when it comes to this part of your life, in terms of arguments. And then 9 here, this is associated more with your ambitions and your dreams, but certainly swords are to do with matters of the mind, communication, right? Communication with others. It is also partially to do with relationships, right? Whereas people associate cups only being with relationships. Well, not quite. Cups is actually matters to do with your emotions, your heart, your feelings. Relationships are much more to do with the swords card, because relationships are all about communication, right? It's all about sending that emotion out and communicating that emotion out to someone. And so relationships are actually in the realm of swords. And so 10 of Swords talks about coming to the end of a long road of difficult relationships, right? A lot of battles, a lot of strict, you know, I want to say repressed thinking, repressed ideas, right? You've really come through some, you know, these swords are kind of like of your own making in a way, right? And not to say that it's your fault, but, you know, you are a part of the reason why things happen to you. And so the 10 of Swords is very much like the end of a long lesson, a long kind of a stage that may have seemed to be very difficult, a long stage generally, right, of difficulty. But you find yourself, you understand yourself through this stage, right? And even in this card, you can see there is one arm this individual has that is not impaled or hurt, and he's right there, and he only needs to take that one arm and to pull the one sword out to begin the domino effect of releasing himself. And so that indicates to you that, you know, inherent in all of this is your own ability. It's really down to you to release yourself. It's down to you to take the step to say, okay, I'm done with this, I'm laying this down, right? And you have to. That's the only way you can move forward. And so it's really a case of sooner or later you will come to that conclusion. It's just a matter of, is it going to be sooner or is it going to be later? Once you come out of this period, you're a whole new different person. You're not the same person you were. It's almost like a death of an ego. We have Ace of Swords here coming in. So yeah, there's information coming in that's kind of like a victory, right? Certainly a victory. There's information coming in that's kind of vindicating you, right? I love Ace of Swords energy. It's very much like usually communication that happens because, for instance, you may have held on to a certain stance that nobody else, and this could be why you're having this completion as well as a result of this Ace of Swords. It could be that you've held on to a certain position and everyone else is like poo-pooing it. They don't have your back. They think you're crazy. You know, you didn't necessarily have the proof, but you knew you were right. And so here along later on at some point comes either a message or a confirmation, a document, a meeting, some kind of outside, some kind of outside communication in some form or another, right? That lets everyone know in a way that yes, not only are you correct, right? But now we're acquiescing to you. Everybody knows now that you were correct. This can be very public communication as well. People see it. So you're coming out of a period, certainly, most recently as well, of, and this might be just this excellent period of being in the sun, right? Just most recently, you felt very free, excited, independent, right? It could be, let's see, I'm quite interested. All right, Six of Cups up here. Yeah, I think most recently you've come across someone who's made you very happy. You have the, you've come across the possibility of the sun being in your life for quite some time. I think most recently something has happened, a meeting. You've either met somebody or re-met old friends. This could be as a result of this communication has come in, right? But this is very, very recent, and it makes you feel really good. It's going to give you the energy to dig deep and kind of close off this last little bit of issue that you have in your life, right? This could be the last little bit of, like, negativity. This could involve people that you're with or relationships. I'm not saying necessarily breaking up, but you could have been breaking up with somebody like for quite some time, and now it's like you finally put the kibosh in. It could be that you've been deciding to get away from a particular environment that's been really unhealthy for you for quite some time. You've been working towards it, and now is the time for you to make that final push. Certainly with the end here of this Ten of Swords period, and this new kind of information coming in, this kind of, like I said, it's not only, it's giving you a victory, it's validating you, right? But it could also, it's also very much, I think, an impetus for you moving forward, right? This could also be, this person, I feel like you've met someone or you've come in contact either with someone or a group or social group or something that's made you feel really confident most recently and kind of open your eyes to a whole new possibility. You have Six of Cups coming in, so this is really beautiful relationship energy, right? Meeting someone, wanting to work towards a family, right? So this could be someone who's part of this, whatever has happened most recently. It almost seems as though like, you're realizing, oh, there's a possibility here for me to have a really nice family with this person. Now, you could be already involved with somebody, but I don't think this is it. I don't think this message is for you. This is a message, this is a new moon reading, and so it's for those of you who are really going through closing off, like I said, an old period. Nine of Wands is very much a closing off of an old period and coming into a new period. So I really think this is somebody who's coming in. You may not have met them yet. You may have just met this kind of suddenly become part of like a new social scene, right? And it's making you feel like really cool. You may have moved to another city most recently, right? And you're now in this new social scene, right? And through this scene, someone's going to come in that you're going to be like, wow, I could really be with them. On the surface, you have another 8 here, right? So again, 8, strengths and weaknesses. So, but with 8 of Wands, it's like, don't be too hasty. Don't make decisions too quickly, right? In this image, the character is about to like cut down all the 8s, but there's a communication coming in, and it's like, if you're too hasty, right? You may miss what you need to know to make the right decision. Right, so 8 of Wands also is very much about being strong, knowing your strengths and weaknesses in the sense of holding on until the right time, right? Timing your decisions better, being strong enough to hang in there instead of making decisions hastily and reacting because you may be afraid or apprehensive, which is a form of weakness, right? Which is giving into your weaknesses. Take your time to make your preparations properly, right? Take care not to be too quick to make your decisions. Certainly, right? Certainly with this energy coming in with this person that you may feel very quickly wanting to move in with them, but it's like, don't do that just yet. Make sure everything is the way it should be. Hanged Man, wow. And then you have Two of Wands. Yeah. So take your time, right? Take your time. I think someone, King of Wands, certainly, I believe this King of Wands is a family friend, an older person, someone you look up to. They're coming in as well to maybe give you their 2 cents, help you out, right? I really feel like also this certainly could have involved a move, like I said earlier. Cancer, you may have moved even to maybe another city. You may have been living away from home and then moved back home to where your home, like back home to where your family is, right? Your extended family. And now you have some family members who are coming in and they want to help you, right? But at the moment, still, you're kind of closing off this old period, like I said, right? And you're buckling down to work. Right, you're coming out also of this period. It's almost as if it's like, I really feel like you. It's almost like you Cancers moved away. Maybe some of you were living somewhere, right? And where you were living, like maybe you were dealing with a really negative energy, a negative relationship, right? A toxic relationship, right? And it may be that it took you quite some time, right, to get it together to kind of leave this person and where they're at, right? And so now you've pulled it together, right? And you've left, and you've maybe even physically left this person, right? And come back home to where your family is at, right? And all of this was because you were working hard. You may have even taken extra jobs. I'm seeing and I am imagining like a woman who's with, and you know, this, it's really not about gender, but it's about energies, right? But what I see is I imagine this woman who's with this person who's very abusive, right? And she's like, how do I get away from him? And she secretly almost starts to take second jobs to get extra money, right? This is how she gets the extra money, right? And she slowly but surely starts to squirrel away her extra money. And she knows the only way to get away from this guy is to have her money and everything ready, right? And she does it. She does it. She, you know, the bee is so industrious and creative. You're so creative, right, Cancer? And you do it. And you get away. And what you do is you come home to your hometown. And when you get home, it's like you get that kind of like welcome information coming in, this reaffirmation that yes, you did the right thing. You may even get people who understand your situation and protect you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's almost like that. And now this most recent period of being back home, it's like you're back in the sun again. Because I didn't understand how this energy, this sun energy could be here with this heavy energy here. And that's what I was like, show me, you know, and it shows me, and that's the scene that I see. And so now you're back home, and it's almost like you're back to who you were. It's like, oh, that was such a long, difficult period, you know. You're back to home, where you were. There's probably someone, I almost see someone in your hometown who's probably been in love with you for a very long time, someone you maybe even never considered, but you had moved off and spread your wings, right? And then you found yourself in this situation, and now you're back home. Now you're very quick. You're being a little bit hasty. You got a lot of offers and opportunities coming in. There's decisions to make and things happening. So take care, right? Take your time. And this person, King of Wands, I certainly feel like this is someone who loves you and cares for you, is very happy that you're home. You know, it's like they're looking right at you. They're very happy you're home. They want to be there. They want to protect you, right? But you have Hanged Man coming up in your future. Take care not to go back to that stuck energy. Hanged Man is coming out as a warning, because the Hanged Man only shows his face when you've woken up. Right? The Hangman doesn't show his face in a reading to those who still need to wake up. The Hangman shows his face in a reading to those who have woken up, to remind you of, hey, you were hanging, yes, indeed. And yes, what you're feeling is right. You do need to move forward. Now it's time. Put the effort in. Put the momentum in. Right? You've been moved down off of your perch, you know, by your own passion. You have taken yourself down. It's nothing that's taking you down. Remember, Hanged Man is 12. The first two is the High Priestess. Both the High Priestess and the Hanged Man are extremely stubborn characters. You cannot make them do anything. You cannot make the High Priestess divulge her secrets. You have to come to her in humility, with tribute, and you know, in prostration. You have to prostrate yourself in front of her. You know, you have to be, you know, sort of, you know what I mean? You have to beg the high priestess to come into your life, because she requires sincerity and commitment, and she won't show her face just to anyone. She won't show her wisdom just to anyone. In that way, the hangman is the same way in his stubbornness. He will not come down off of that perch because you tell him to. He only comes down when he sees something worth changing for. Because you have to understand that the hangman is hanging there because of his comfort. Not, you know, he's not uncomfortable. People seem to suggest, and people read these cards and say he seems to be in this very uncomfortable. There's nothing uncomfortable about it. He has his hands there, his one foot. He's found a way. He's found comfort in a fucked up situation. That's the truth. He's found a way to be comfortable in a situation that will make the rest of us uncomfortable. But don't ever confuse him as hanging for comfort, for discomfort. Right? And so the hangman is very difficult to move because of that, because of his resignation to be happy with where he's at. He has nothing but time on his hands. So it takes a great desire, a great thing, something that he truly, truly, truly desires, something that truly, right, sparks his attention to get him to open his eyes and realize now it's time to come down. Whatever that was for you, Cancer, that got you to finally come out of your holding pattern, to leave whatever space, relationship, whatever was going on here, take care that you don't get pulled back into that energy. And remember what I say about comfort, right? Remember, you know, when you see people in very miserable situations, they're comfortable there. You know, you see people who are, you know, living, oftentimes, right? Well, from the outside in, you look at somebody, say somebody is in a situation, there's drugs involved, the place is dirty, nobody's making any money, right? There's abuse, and you just look from the outside in, and you just, but everybody's sitting on the couch watching TV and kind of rolling along, and you're just kind of like, how can you live like that? Understand this, that humans, you know, there's a certain level of comfort in that for them, right? It is easier for them to remain there than to do the work that it would require for them to come out of that position. The amount of work that is required for them is simply too much, right? And it's through the comfort, the slowly drip, I can't be bothered, I can't be bothered, I can't be bothered. I want to, you know, the desire for comfort, that drip, desire for comfort, which can slowly pull you right back into the same toxic situation you were in before, Cancer. So please take care. There's going to come a period where even if you move back to your hometown, there's going to come a period where this raises its ugly head again. It could even be a case of you going to a friend's house and them laying around the house just kind of with that same energy that you just worked so hard to get away from. Do me a favor. Do not sit down and get comfortable with that friend. Just be like, oh, okay, this is what you're doing? All right, cool. I got things to do. Peace. And go. Right? That's what I'm talking about, that kind of slow drip pulling in. If you now then say, in that scenario, say you're in that situation, you go in, you then sit down, and you like shoot the shit, and before you know, you're like, you want to hang out? Yeah, I got nothing better to do. You hang out. And it's like, you know, that's how that slow kind of, you know, that's how that pulls you in. Literally pulls you in. Right? Before you know it, it's harder to get up off the couch. It's harder to leave. Next thing you know, you're living there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it sounds crazy, but that's how those things happen. So be very, very careful of this energy that will come back in your life to pull you in. And when it does, and you dispel it and deal with it, which will be just a matter of you making the right decision, right? It's just a few seconds making the right decision. You're going to get your affirmation right away if you make the right decision. It's not a matter of a long-term thing. This is a matter of, you know, whenever the opportunity arises for you to go back into this energy, if you just do not do that, then you are carrying on with your course. It's not like it's going to continue to come in and to test you. There's only one test that happens for this, and you've passed or failed. If you pass, you go on with your life to Two of Wands, which is the next step. Two of Wands is the next step. Two of Wands is Mars and Aries energy. You've gotten the inspiration from the Eight of Wands with the idea. Now you're ready to go on to the next step of your new life. Beautiful energy. but only if you make the right decision when this rears its ugly head. All right, I'm going to call it Cancer. This is an incredible reading for me. I love it. I love the energy. I know that you worked really hard to get yourself out of a tricky space. Sound off below. I'm curious how many of you out there are resonating with this. Please like, subscribe, share. Help me grow my channel. This is how I make my living now. So I do appreciate everything that you all do for me. If you want to get a private reading, please follow the link at the bottom of your screen. But for right now, Cancer, I am so proud of you. If this resonates with you, Cancers out there, you know who you are. You did a really, really great thing. Hang in there. I love you. Bye-bye.